Another one of my post-it notes here I've written to myself in the middle of the night is, I love you and I'm sorry. And I remember I just had when I work with clients, it's interesting I'll have a sort of a patch where I get couples working on issues, or I'll get recovering addicts, or I'll get people with eating disorders, or I'll get self-harmers, or I'll get, it's just interesting that the way it's almost like the work's seasonal, and obviously we work on different issues with different people. But one of the themes I saw coming up in quite a few of my more mature male clients, and I had about 4 or 5 of them in a row last month. And I think this is one of the things I've always loved about Mr. Delicious, my husband, is that he's emotionally brave and fierce. I mean, he's a very intelligent man, and certainly no pushover, and certainly won't no pushover for me, that's for sure. But he has always been able to say very freely and very frequently to me that he loves me. And he'll just look over, we'll be watching telly, he'll hold my hand and just say, I love you with all my heart. And sometimes it just melts me. And also too, if we have an argument, and we argue, my goodness, we're both really strong people that have been battered and bruised. And sometimes we yell, But one thing I do love about him, when we have a torrential storm, we clean out the gutters of all the stuff, the past fear that's been blocking us. We're both in our 5th decade, and for 5 decades, you do get to have a bit of baggage, and you need somebody safe that will love you at your worst and stay with you in a storm. And I'm very grateful to say that he does that for me, and I do that for him. But both of us will say we're sorry, and he knows how to say sorry. He doesn't do it because he should. He knows you need eye connection. It needs to come from a tone of love. And unless he can touch me and hold my hand or give me a hug, I know he's not fully in his apology. But there are many, many men and women I work with that don't know how to say sorry, or won't, or refuse to. And sometimes it's because it wasn't modelled in their family of origin, or men don't say sorry, or their ego is such armoury over their heart that saying sorry they see as a failure, when it's an actual real triumph that love wins over the ego. And saying I love you, and again, I hear many people say, she or he should know I love them. Whether they're talking about a child or a lover. And knowing you're loved and feeling you're loved are two different things. Knowing you're loved is an intellectual process, but feeling it is a very different thing. When somebody touches you on the shoulder as they walk past you, and they can tell you I love you with a touch, but when they say it and touch you, and the heart works through the 5 senses: sight, smell, taste, touch, sound. And when you have all of them activated, when somebody's looking at you, they're touching you, the sound of their voice, the feel of them, the taste of their kiss, it all says I love you. I mean, you have a strong signal, a strong connection. But when people start to drop off by looking at people when they say they love them, or holding on to them, with saying they love them with their touch, or kissing them with the lips of love. And when you kiss your child on the cheek and say, oh, Mummy loves you at bedtime, they feel it. They feel it in that soft, tender touch. And if we keep all those 5 common senses connected to the heart, the signal of intimacy is strong. But if you drop them off, it's like mobile bars on a phone, you lose the connection. And often when I start to work with people that have a very weak connection, it's because they have stopped saying I'm sorry, and they've stopped showing that they're loved in all those sensory ways. And there's some wonderful books around the 5 languages of love that talk about the different ways people give and receive love. But at the end of the day, common senses. And it's just good common sense if you you choose to have a quality connection with somebody, whether it's a child, a dear friend, a family member, or a lover. If you cannot and will not say, I'm sorry when you get it wrong, and unless you're a saint, you stuff up like we all do. We stuff up in different ways in different decades of life, but everybody gets it wrong. And that's emotional fitness, a real strength of character when you say, I am sorry, I got that wrong. And you can say it without an emotional investment and outcome. You say, I'm sorry as a gift. You say it as an act of integrity, not to get something, not to hear I'm sorry back. And when you say I'm sorry, no but. I'm sorry, but is just a trade. If you hadn't done that, I wouldn't have done that. That's not an apology. It's a trade where you want validation. Heartfelt, I'm sorry. I am genuinely sorry I hurt you. And if you're still shitty at me, I love and honour that because I would be too. But I want you to know I'm sorry and I'm here when you're ready for a hug. It's worth reviewing.